hold on, sorbet, hold on, sorbet, hold on, sorbet, hold on, sorbet. I've been running up checks, trading on Forex, NFTs, nigga, where your floor at? East side, living in the sky, rise, fucking bitches on my deck. My Coinbase account make you niggas bank account look upset. Woo, sorbet. These niggas too upset. I'm front row at the Warriors game, Dapper Dre and Steph. I'm a big dog to you little Frenchy ass niggas ballin' in debt. And my crypto.com wallet just went up 40 in net. Woo, sorbet. Let me order that check. I got Alex waiting out of Dubai to party with new shreds. And my party AB and them niggas got 20 bitches on deck. With a Lambo truck pulling up to the airport when I land. Oh, hold on. I've been away for a while now. I'm in London still, fucking on
So, after you got the role in Last Black Man in San Francisco and you went through that whole experience, did that give you like the acting bug, which a lot of people mention? Like once they get into it, all of a sudden they get bit. And like, do you want to pursue acting? Do you have any other projects that you're currently working on?
Yeah, so after Last Black Man in San Francisco, I seen that, the industry noticed my talent. And I started understanding the film industry way better than I understood the music industry. And it was something that I can actually control. I could be the writer, the producer, the director, and the production company. So at that point, with me being a storyteller in general, I was, fully fledged into film. And, with doing so, I ended up, landing a lot of auditions, but then I ended up landing a role in a movie called DeadLock with Bruce Willis that recently just came out.
Die Hard himself, baby.
Yeah, so make sure y'all go check out.
Can you feel that though? Can you feel that? 80s buff? Can you feel that? Come on, man.
You
talking about Die Hard, baby?
Come on, man. How many people can say that?
Exactly.
How was it working with him? Legend.
Working with Bruce Willis, I had one scene with him, right? And that's all I needed ultimately, right?
Yeah.
But I had one scene with him. I asked him subtle questions, and it was the scene that I had with him. It was really scary, to be honest, because we have guns in here. I have a gun pointed at me. I'm not gonna give it up.
You hear about that story with Baldwin, how someone got shot.
But this was before that happened. But this gun, and he's in this moment where he's like this, and I think he's losing it because he's like, he's talking to the director because it's like some in between. They just trying to get that one shot from him, right? But he's like, I really don't like this guy.
Like you're feeling that energy.
And he's looking at me, right?
He's really trying to smoke me.
The whole fucking set is quiet. And then they're like, Bruce, you just got to say this. And he was like, but I really don't like this motherfucker, right? And on one side, I'm like, okay, he trying to get into it, but I'm like, do he know who I am? Did he support like Kamala?
Right.
Or is he I don't know, right? And what ended up going from there, he was like, oh, okay, hold on. And then he took a breath, but in that moment, I'm like, damn, am I about to die?
Right.
Like, this is Die Hard for real. This is Bruce Willis.
Snap back to Die Hard 3
He was having a hot flash.
It's him killing people. That's all I know.
Right.
I mean, even though it's movies, but he's killing people. Is this really about to happen?
The actors, bro, they really be in that moment, bro. They talking about being in that shit.
And I'm handcuffed. It's like, come on, champ. So, but yeah, dealing with working with Bruce Willis, man, was a dream come true.
Nice.
The beauty about getting into film and just the industry in general, I was able to come to terms to turning them all into my peers. And not looking at them as like these, these superstars and, people that I can't necessarily, get to. And when I was at Sundance, I met a guy named Mike Huff. And he loved The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and he said it inspired him, and he wanted to get into film, and he had this idea of this movie called Punk Kids. Wow. And it was a short film, and he was like, man, I'd love if you could be in it. And at the time, I'm like, yeah, maybe so. We'll get back to the Bay.
Yeah.
He was from the Bay. It was like, okay, cool. And then we lost contact, over a little time. And then next thing you know, there was he shot a short film of it. And he had shot 15 minutes of it, and he still needed to do the other 15 minutes. So when I had seen it, I said, damn, this shit is shot good. And when he told me that their budget, they only spent $7,500 on the budget, and this is 15 minutes.
So that turned the light on.
I said, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Started to connect the dots, right?
75, 15 minutes,
to the left power.
75, another 15 minutes,
Yeah.
75. I'm like, hold on, we could pull this
We can
off.
make
A
a
full
movie.
film with about $70,000. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, look, I love the short film. Let's turn it into a feature.
Nice.
So he said, I love the idea. And so he went back to the drawing board. We kept what they shot, and he just developed it from there to a whole feature.
Nice.
And I said, I wanna add in people that's here from San Francisco, from the Bay Area, just in general, to act in it, right? Because that's how I got my opportunity, right?
For sure.
Paying it forward, right?
Real rural, know what I mean? Type of people who probably wouldn't get these opportunities,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And throw them in the fire, because everybody think that they're acting until they're not.
Exactly.
So, but now when you have these certain characters, like Big Rich, Jasmine Corley, I put Gunna in the movie, it was like, man, let me be able to do something, again, for my community, and do this
Definitely.
film. I'm going to raise the money. I went out and raised the money for it. So it was my first movie I produced.
Yeah,
Right.
And then I ended up actually, acting in it as well, even though I didn't plan. But it gave me experience as well to see how the whole set
And how the
is
production
set up,
works.
and how directing goes, and how the language is and stuff like that, because that's what I want to do. I want to
You
direct.
have all
I
your
want to
hands in the
run. I
cookie
want to
jar,
run a
yeah.
set. Before I produced that, I got up with a guy named Micah, who I was introduced to, who was into film. He was a writer. And I wanted to write a movie, right? But I didn't know the exact structure, right?
right.
I didn't know
Yeah.
final draft.
Yeah.
So
Screenplay, all
I
that
brought
shit.
him in and was like, hey, look, I'll pay you X at the beginning and I'll pay you X at the end, and let's write it together. Right? Well, I'll give you writer's credit, but this is my story and how I want to tell it.
Yeah.
So, I did everything I needed to do. I produced the movie as I was writing it.
You got to learn to
I
write.
attached Dante Bosco, right? I was having Pilo play the young Rudy.
wow.
You know what I mean? And I was, going to do a lot of the young Filipino kids right here, in District 6, put them in there and tell this story, this untold story that happens in San Francisco about the Gorilla Pino, a perspective of life that nobody knows about San Francisco, about inner city, outer city kids. And when I say outer city, it's like, it's still in the city, but it's on the edges.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
exactly.
Hunters Point, Filmo,
outstation,
Sunnydale, real
7 by
Frisco.
7.
Real
You know what I
Frisco
mean?
shit.
7 by 7. And so, we wrote it, and now once I wrote that with him, I knew how to actually write, and I was confident in it. And I was supposed to shoot it 2020. I moved back from LA on my mission. I went to LA on a mission to learn the film industry, and that's why I built a lot of my relationships and and on the trail to try to produce my documentary about my story. But then I came back. Of course, at the club, we were supposed to be doing our grand opening, and I was going to shoot this movie.
All in the beginning of March 2020.
All at the beginning of March 2020 that shut me down.
Oh, punk
Yeah.
ass.
We
Yeah.
couldn't
COVID
drink enough
happened.
stuff on this set to make us feel what we had to
That
go through that.
motherfucker, it set me back. I learned so much over the past, 2.5 years. I was set back in film to a degree, though certain things was, being developed, like Punk Kids. It set Punk
This
Kids
leads you
back.
to your documentary. docuseries that we referenced?
Yeah, of course. So the docuseries, look, I've been pitching my docuseries, right? Like my story, I could have sold my story 1,000 times over already, right? But I want to control.
You want to have the creative control.
Yeah, I want to control my story and how I tell it because it's way bigger. And my story ain't supposed to just be a part of this series where they tell all these different stories. My story is supposed to be the catalyst to tell stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That
my
platform.
docuseries, framing true love isn't just about framing true love as in me. It's framing true love, framing the country, the people that have, built up this country, the people that's in the cricks and the cracks and the crowning, that stories ain't being told, where they don't have access to, and how it's a chain reaction. Because that was the working title, Chain Reaction, and the whole concept, of it. But I have my production company, Tru Narrative, but now, you go to Netflix, you go to these, they're not about to give you, $3, $4, $5 million if you can't show what you can produce.
Yeah.
So I learned that you got to team up with a production company who've already proven their whole thing, broker your deal with them, then your control broker, right, of what your deal gonna be, take it to them, and now they're pitching it, right, or what the story is, and now they know that they could pull it off. They know they could trust them with the money, and that's how you build up your name for your production company. Right. That's how you get your credits as well. So even with Punk Kids, right, my whole thing, understanding that, it was like, I might not be being picked up for all these different roles, but you know what, I could executive produce this film, make sure that it's dope. I got my production company credit, executive producer credit. Now I'm being put into that circuit. Now, exactly. Yeah. All these other stories, right? When it come down to film, when I say film, I'm doing film right now, and it feel good. It feel real good, man.
Hollywood back to Frisco, baby.
But that's what
Hollywood Millie.
My story's never entitled Hollywood, LA, on set.
Yeah,
the ability to produce, though. You can't make this shit up. You know what I mean? My story's like the movie I'm working on now is BSU, Black Student Union, which started right here in San Francisco. That's my love letter to San Francisco. I'm gonna show you how something so black started in a city that's looked at as so white, right? I'm gonna tell that story. So how I tell that story, you know what? I'm not gonna write that story. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go get Avery Williams, the professor of screenwriting at Morehouse, have him write it, hire him to write it, and then I go to Oakland and tell Bruce Riley, come on, because you want to tell this story. And now
Bruce is crazy.
Right? So you match them together, you drop that on motherfucking Deadline, through my publicist, and everybody's like, what? I want to be attached to that.
Right? Exactly.
Raise the money. Also, on top of attached talent, Bruce Riley talent, his name, talent, right? And now it's get a piece actor here, piece actor there, and then you bottle that up. I could take this to fucking
anybody.
I take this to anybody that gonna jump on it.
Forced to be reckoned with.
But the beauty of it is saying this, no. The budget is going to be about $3 million. Let me raise the money and do it myself, and then put it inside Sundance, inside Cannes, and stuff like that, and show that I could produce a high quality film and then make them buy it.
Exactly.
And now when I got an idea, dope ass idea, and I go to a Netflix or I go to a Sony or whatever it may be with an idea and stuff like that, they gonna be like, we'll give you the money.
They already know.
And that's not so I'm doing BSU, but also my love letter to Oakland, the Neil Wilson story. I'm doing that now. I'm writing that and producing that, and I'm directing that.
That whole situation was super unfortunate. That was actually a good friend of mine. And just crazy all together. Her sister being a lot of it, a lot of people don't point out the fact that not only the traumatization of her sister, seeing her sister being murdered, but also almost being murdered herself. I can't wait to see that one. That's deep.
I started writing that at the beginning of 21, but you know what I discovered? NFTs.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I discovered NFTs, and I was so much at the beginning stage of what crypto NFTs was, and I wanted to figure out what this thing was because there was a big hype about it. I had my guy Yobes, shout out my guy Yobes, who told me about Bitcoin about 4 years ago, and I wish I would have listened to him, right? And so
everybody,
and once I started understanding how the technology worked, I said, damn, how do I build a business structure using this tool? So it took me about 6 months to really fully wrap my head all the way around it to be able to present a concept to how it could be self-sufficient and profitable and how you can necessarily monetize off of it as well and bring everybody along with you.
To be financial.
Let's try to break it down for because it's people that this shit is still so raw.
It's still
so raw and foreign because like
definitely
I'm a good friend of yours and I've been following the whole movement and at first it was like, you know, not like we were talking earlier pre-screen where you were saying like, you understand everybody don't got the 1,500 and the initial upfront frost of getting your own, right? But doing your homework and you really dive into it the way you explained it recently, I like you to weigh in that because it makes so much more sense. Like people still don't even know what an NFT stands for.
Exactly.
NFT stands for non-fungible token.
And what does that mean for all us dummies that's out there in this world?
So non-fungible, like, you know, fungible is something that you could break up, right? So a dollar is fungible because you could break it up in four quarters.
Or 10
right?
dimes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, whatever, right? So NFT is non-fungible. So you can't break it up. Man, nigga, I figured out how to break it up.
And you monetize from every sale, though, right?
He said he figured out how to break it up.
I figured out how to share the wealth. Right? Where the owner of that NFT could ultimately make money, but other people could share in on the experience. You know what I mean?
Share in it. And break that pencil.
So let me break down the concept of NFTs in general, why they are a big thing, why the metaverse is a big thing. For one, cryptocurrency is a $4 trillion industry, but they can't spend their money.
Yeah.
Right? Where can they spend their money?
It's
right?
kind of like buildup of wealth, but can't.
But you can't spend it.
NFT is the outlet.
So listen, so that's the currency. NFT is the company. Metaverse is the storefront. Right? Okay. So, for instance, for plain English, Louis Vuitton, they open up a store in Decentraland, right? Now, you travel into the metaverse, you go into Decentraland, into Louis Vuitton, right?
Virtual slacks, virtual
as your character, right? And you see this shirt, right? And that shirt is an NFT, right? But then you can click it and it'll show you like the size. It'll show you what it will look like in real life, right? So you click, you like, you know what? I want that shirt. Then you buy that shirt with your cryptocurrency, which is Web3, right? With your cryptocurrency, and you get it as an NFT, a receipt, right? But also they send it to you in real life.
Oh,
so now it's a double up.
Now they could, and remember, all this shit is not regulated, right? So they're not paying those taxes on it, right? So now you're able to sell real life things,
product,
without
a real life tangible, without having to go through the government to do so. So now you can open up a store in real life and open a store in the metaverse, but now the $4 trillion, they could start spending the money.
Oh, wow.
They could start spending the money.
That's a trip.
So every business model, right, is about NFTs is going to be built on that. Yeah. Now, like, you got to think about where Web 2 was. I get passionate about this shit. Yeah. So where Web 2 was,
his director hat went off and his clicked right back on.
With Web 2, I remember being 3 years old, man, you know, well, 5, 6, whatever, and, you know, they introduced you into these computers and shit like that. That had no effect on me at home. It had no effect on my everyday life, so I didn't give a fuck about it. My parents did it, so forth and so on, right? Like I said earlier, I didn't learn, you know, about computers till I was 30 years old, really, fully, right? Now, granted, you know, like, I don't know your shit, but blase, right? Most of us came up like that. We never knew that we, like, the computers, that it was gonna be on your phone. So I looked at it like, if I don't learn about this right now, I'm not going to be able to teach my kids. I'm not going to be able to grow with them and so forth and so on. This is Web3. This is the future of what currency actually is, you know? So that's what made me dive into crypto and NFTs. But I'm like, hold on, how am I going to be on the forefront to be able to turn this into generational wealth, right? So it was always the business sense of being able to, you know, construct a business entity using the NFT, but giving to people, you know, these real life perks, right? Like most NFT projects are like rug pulls, right? You know, they're money grabs. They grab the celebrity. They grab the celebrity. They put his name on it, and then all these
people lose all.
No, it's not just people lose all that money. You gotta think about this. Look,
though, man.
you have trillions of dollars people have in crypto, and they don't have nothing to spend. They like, man, I want to spend it on something.
And now I have the ability.
So, but I have the ability to. So even when they buy something, right, and that company that sells it or whatever it may be, it's really on them to do good by them, because you know what that is? That's crowdfunding, right? That's all that is crowdfunding. Because being 100%, I was gonna open up a club regardless, right? But hold on. I could crowdfund this, right? But I'm not just crowdfunding for me to win everything and me to, you know, be able to win this and to get this money. No, I'm crowdfunding to build something for us where you can make money as well. Somebody asked me earlier today.
I think we
There we go. Come on, man.
The way he breaking it down, so I want to go to the club.
Okay, cool.
I've heard your spills about Bay Apes. I'm kind of interested. How do I go about purchasing? Because I know people be on the fence. Hopefully some of this parts gets to some of those people that are still on the fence. But you got me, I'm ready to commit. I see all these all these ETHs. I mean, I'm a little savvy. Cuzzo's probably not. I don't know
I'm
if everybody else is.
in the group,
But what does this all inspire? Like you say, how do I build my generational wealth if I take this leap of faith and I go out and I get into this?
So investing in, look, I'm gonna tell anybody, right? Like, you better off, if you got any savings, anything, you better off taking all that shit out of here or under your mattress and put it all into Ethereum or put it all into Bitcoin. At least those two. Those two are safe. Those two are promising. They're promising, right? Bitcoin will be $1 million of Bitcoin, right? Like, you got to understand, you know, niggas always talk about they stacking. Is you really stacking? Can you take this money, put it over there, see that it made $1,000, you know, in 1 month, right? And just sitting there, right? It made $1,000, not me, in 1 month, right? And so you can predict maybe every, you know, other month make another $1,000. But you only make that $1,000 off of $600. Right? You know, and seeing where that necessarily is going and so forth and so on, can you keep it there without pressuring yourself to say, man, I could use that money right now.
I can take it.
Let that shit ride. You know what I mean? People are better off taking all your money, putting it in cryptocurrency, because that's where it's going. Even when it gets regulated, don't worry about it. You're going to have to pay some taxes. You even pay taxes with that right there, right?
But that's pretty almost the only knock. You might have to pay a little bit of tax.
Yeah, later on. But this way, if you dive into it, there's, you know, ways around that as well. But as long as it's in there, you're not paying taxes, right? But that's why they got the crypto.com credit card now, right? Now the money don't even got to go inside the bank no more. Now, if you got $20,000 on Coinbase, right, you get this this debit card, now I mean Visa, and now you can go ahead and make your purchases. If you need to grab out $500, you need to pay your bills, you need to do all that shit. Now you're not paying nothing because it's never going to these banks.
Wow.
It's never going to these banks. And that's the whole thing of it, right? So you don't catch that quick capital gain. If you pull out within that year, you paying 45%. But even beyond, but even beyond that, past 1 year, right? You bring out, you know, more than $10,000, they see that shit coming out and stuff like that. They go, Uncle Sam gonna be like, well, shut man, where that money at? I mean, you invested.
And a lot of people don't know the new law that just passed this past year. If there's a $600 transaction, whether you buy or sell, withdraw, whatever, it's got to be reported.
No, so that didn't pass.
It didn't.
It doesn't affect it.
No, that didn't pass.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't pass. Like, look, remember, it was at, 9,000, 9,500. Nobody never wants to drop 10,000 on nothing because they gonna block it, right? But you can't, how many times.
Let's just bet our eye and turn the
how many times a day they will have to keep that data and research into somebody making a $600 purchase?
Dude,
like,
that
come
would
on
be
now.
ridiculous.
Look, they haven't even regulated tech.
Them niggas couldn't regulate
Tech
that.
isn't regulated.
Them niggas couldn't regulate that PPP either.
You know what I mean? Shit, I know some motherfuckers make a whole lot of money off of that shit. But now, so,
Or the EDD,
They coming for
nigga.
it, bro. Watch out.
but like, NFTs, man, the Bay Apes, to get to the Bay Apes, I want to, hammer this home. Look, with other NFT projects, don't have real life perks. They don't have tangibles. Most of them, have they overpromise, underdeliver. You buy NFT from, because you could buy NFT for, fucking 0.5 Ethereum, about $20, $30. That don't mean that you're gonna be able to sell it for $100,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anytime
You got to
soon.
create the market for it. You got to create the market for it, right? Especially after the sale.
Is that the difference? Is that the difference
Yes.
with this wave? Because I've noticed that, like I wasn't too keen, but I'm like, obviously these are art people on that thing. They're pushing that shit crazy as fuck. And there's just people that really love art that's
what's the
putting out
reason
these
behind
crazy
it,
ass
though?
prices for it.
But listen to this.
Because you have seen some of these be successful. You've seen some people,
The
Draymond,
some
Steph,
coin.
they've invested in stuff and they got
crypto,
stuff that's crazy right now.
And because
Or
they're
athletes
buying,
getting paid in crypto.
getting paid in crypto, yes, for sure. You know why? It's the smartest thing to do because they're going to make more money in 1 year off that crypto than if that money sat in the bank or even the risk of it putting it in the marketplace. Right? And now you don't have to put it too much in nowhere. You just sit it right there. Make sure you got that, you got that safe lock. Now, that nobody could get your shit type shit. And you just let it sit. You let it go up. You let it go down. You let it go up. You let it go down. Right when you get to the top. Now, towards the end of the year, you go ahead and put it in a stable coin, right? Because a lot of people gonna sell, right? Because they want to pull their money out.
They want to pull it
right?
out. Yeah,
because they want to pay taxes on it. They want to take their gains. But once you go ahead and put it right there in that stable coin, that shit ain't gonna go up. It ain't gonna go down. And then once about 2-3 months in, you go ahead and drop it back in because it's going to build right back up. It's going to surpass the peak of what it was the year before. So Ethereum last year peaked at $4,400, right?
Wow.
Towards the end of the year, that shit started dropping. It dropped all the way down to about, no, not $1,300. No, it dropped to about $2,400. But that's a $2,000 drop if you kept it up in there, right?
60,000 down to almost, 38,000?
Yeah, exactly. Bitcoin too. Right towards the end of the year, December, right? Because everybody took their gains. Everybody was pulled, right? Because, just at the beginning of 2021, 2020, you could have got a Bitcoin for $17,000.
Bro, I had 3 coins. I tell the story. I had 3 coins back in the day when they were worth like $300. I got them all fucking DJ Epic, nigga.
Damn.
Fucking, they came up. They went. I think I sold them at one point for like $1,600. Nigga, I thought I was balling in. I got a dumbass all the time.
He sold them for a stimulus check. He sold it for a stimulus check. He got that 3 times.
1 year worth of stimulus check 3 times.
Yeah.
I was like,
Is it like the stock where you're buying when it's low and selling high and kind of, learn how to manipulate the market?
Yep. You got to know how to do it. Like, if you focus on it, man, I swear, there's so many coins that's out there. If you take the time, like I tell people all the time, take the time. Like, I'm into like Forex. Y'all heard of Forex?
Yeah.
So Forex, it's a currency exchange. That's what the banks do with our money. Because if you go to Wells Fargo, Chase,
that's how they standardize those interest rates.
You could go use your money.
You could exactly. We could all go to the bank right now and say, "Give us all our money." They don't got it. You know why? Because it's tied up in trades. Right?
Their moves.
And then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you can get this interest rate." Now put it in savings. That's the old.
That's why they
sale.
push you like
People are so much aware of shit like that now. That's why cryptocurrency was developed. Is because of that, right?
That's one of the main things that shit. Pops put me on game when I was a young nigga. He keep his shit in the sock under the drawer because in his times and still today, cash is king. But cash ain't king no more.
Cash is
pulling that power.
It's different. But I hate the fact that I can't go into a bank and say,
Give me my money.
I want to take $5,000 out today. I don't want to fucking sit here and wait for no manager. None of that bullshit.
I don't want to wait for none of that shit. But see, in those times, I mean, you know, you question banking, right? You know, coming, you know, in the old times, especially, you know, being black or, you know, being somebody of color, it's like you didn't trust the government. You didn't,
here.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You know, so you didn't trust it. It's like, so understandable. Keep your money in the shoebox. But then, that's why we were stagnated. That's why we're still trying to climb up out of it, right? Because of the scare, right, of the unknown. If we don't know it, we don't educate ourselves on it, we will never get to that pinnacle, right? Same with, you know, I could cross this over to cannabis, right? Knowing that this is our prohibition. We wasn't a part of the first 3 prohibitions. ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearm. Now it's going to be ATFC. Right? Cannabis, right? So right now, minorities only own like 2% of the whole cannabis industry legally,
Shout out to
right?
all the brothers that's out there doing it.
But imagine the people, imagine like, you know, the black and brown community of that 2%, right? On some shit like that. So, but the entry level is so fucking high, it's almost impossible, right? So they're doing, but we are the ones that made these, you know, made cannabis popular. So we supposed to be a part of that, you know what I mean? Exactly. Same with cryptocurrency, you know what I mean? So we could be a part of that, right? We could grow generational wealth off of that. Now, I mean, I'm not going to say NFTs, going to buy NFTs is going to start generational wealth, right? But I can say if you build a business structure behind NFTs in a metaverse, you damn right you can, because you got to think about this, right? And I've been learning all of this game. When I sell out of the Bay Apes, right? I got all this Ethereum, right? That Ethereum about to grow.
Go up.
I could leverage that Ethereum. If I make $3 million, right? Because I got to buy this club, right? I got to buy this building. I got to spend this money right back on the motherfucking, on the spot, right? So you know what I do? I go ahead and leverage that money that I got and say, look, I got the money right there. Give me the money. Let me use your money. And I'll pay you an interest on it. Now this money.
Making our own bank.
Keep
going up. It's going up. It's going up. I'm gonna let it go up and go down, whatever. Eventually, I gotta pay y'all. Y'all gonna get paid. You know what I mean? So forth and so on. But this motherfucker is going up, and now I'm able to give everybody. Look, you own a Bay Ape? Know what I mean? Shit, nigga, you gonna have opportunity to come to the club 2 times a month.
Hold on. I've been away for a while now. Hold on. I've been away for a while now. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet, hold on. I've been away for a while now. Hold on. I've been away for a while now. Hold on. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet, hold on. Sorbet.
I've been away for a while now. I've been away for a while now. Sorbet, hold on. And I want to start talking about this more, man, because people don't ask the right questions, right? So people can understand it. There's 2,222 Bay Apes, right? Do you know a club that fits 2,222 people? No. Right? So now I'm banking on some people owning a couple of them, right? But even if motherfuckers, everybody own, you know, two of them a piece, that's 1,111, right? And I'm not opening up a club that fits 1,111 people, right? That's a concert. You know what I mean? So the club is gonna fit about 500, 550. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
that's the old marathon.
Scarcity is real. Scarcity builds demand, right? So everybody has the same opportunity, right? So you own this Bay Ape, right? And some people are gonna miss their days. They're gonna miss their shot. You know why?
I miss Friday night, right?
Because exactly. No, I missed my 2 weeks to get my free table. But what you still have, you get in the club for free because you're on the Bay Apes, right? But how you force community is like, yo, you got your booking? I didn't get mine. You know what? I'm gonna come fuck with you on your booking. Because now I get to come to your table where you got the free bottle, or you got them 3 open bar slots. Now I'm gonna come get open bar with you as well. You force that community, right? But now on top of that, it's like, hey, if you make when you do make your booking, right?
because you was on top of your shit. So this is gonna be the layout, right? I haven't really been able to tell everybody what this layout is gonna be, right? Because trying to push the whole information to everybody is overbearing. They don't want to take the time. They don't read. Nobody reads no more, right? No, people don't get concepts.
It's a foreign concept because everybody's off the phones, and you know what I'm saying.
It's not, but this is plain English. If you paid attention to it just a little bit, right? So it's like, look, let's say club opens April 1st, right? Which is not, but let's say club opens April 1st. Then March 15th at 7 a.m. in the morning, we're gonna open up bookings for the people who own the Bay Apes, right? And at 7 a.m., you're gonna have to, be on there, make your booking for the days that we're open of those 2 weeks, because it's every 2 weeks you get a booking with a Bay Ape, right? First come, first serve. Exactly. So once you make your booking, right, and everything is sold out, that whole 2 weeks is sold out.
Yeah.
So whoever wasn't up on their shit, they missed out on that.
You gotta wait the next 2 weeks.
And now these people who got these bookings, they got 2 weeks and some change to decide if they're gonna go or sell it.
So it's crazy.
And then 2 weeks later, top of the month, every 1st, every 15th, you better be up at 7 o'clock in the morning ready to make your booking for the next 2 weeks.
Give it the 1st and the 15th, and you mean it.
I mean, like he says, it brings that uniqueness, that scarcity, like. I mean that nostalgia too, because fucking look like previous episode where I'm going to episode 4 where we talk about kicks.
I was just thinking the same thing.
It's the same 90s factor where pre-raffle you had to be a motherfucker that was ready to get your sleeping bag on and stay up all night. Let's pop this bean, cuz we out here all night to get these J's.
Look at these J's. Look, you hear that, right? When you missed out on those J's, did it stop you from trying to get the next pair?
Nah.
Hell
you look more strategic.
You more strategic. Exactly. The scarcity in it all. You know what I mean? And when you hit, you like,
I got
I'm the motherfucker. I'm in this time.
Well, because you hit at the same time, you can flip them, like you said. You can flip them.
You can flip. Right? Come on, man.
This is the party goer.
Trying to get 2 pairs.
How does that break down now, Mike? As you can see, like someone that's on the fence, but you're someone that's obviously in the club every weekend, always partying. Always got the spots. Like knowing that, like, cause fuck, like if we go.
I mean, that sounds like
if you have a good time, you're looking at like $150, $200. That's just for all drinks.
Easily.
That's not parking, food, bit, you know what I mean?
Like you said, as someone that goes out all the time, that sounds like a dope ass concept.
And it's investing in your party going.
In your lifestyle.
Where you can make the money back.
You can make it back.
That's the biggest key that I get off of that.
So peep this though, right? So this is how you build the value of that NFT. So why I could say that the male ape is worth $15,000, right? Because you have the potential to make $15,000 if you sold it for the minimum price of every booking throughout the year. Remember, that's $554 times 24. Now, the female ape, right, is valued at $290, but it's really a higher value because I only base that value off of 4 people entering into the club, 4 people having 4 drinks, plus tax and gratuity. Drinks priced at $15 plus tax and gratuity. It comes out to $290. But niggas know open bar is open bar. You know what I mean? You can tell a motherfucker, right? Look,
these stories that open bar,
I could have oversold it. I could have oversold it, right? And said,
He's like, them babes went out of business. Can't let them boys from the happy hour.
I gave Johnny his flash one and I just fucking lost $10 grand.
I was banned like after dark.
I could have oversold it and said, 4 people entering in the club, 4 people have 8 drinks, but the typical person gonna lie like, I don't never have 8 drinks. You know damn well you have 8 drinks, right?
So minimize it. All that shit counts.
And then it's like, listen, if you ask somebody, right?
Sure you catch
it's for y'all, right? It's for y'all, right? Y'all about to go out. How much would you pay to have open bar for y'all? You going out? I'm gonna ask y'all for how much would you pay?
You talking to some cats who had an open bar in the trunk. So.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I say $1.20 to drink all
night. $1.20.
No, you mean each?
No.
Oh,
four people. Four people going to the club total.
I say
how much?
I'm saying, yeah.
Hold on.
Wait. For all of us together.
No, all together. How much would you pay? Say, for instance, you the one paying.
Yeah.
It's 4 of y'all, right? You got the money. Whatever, right? How much would you pay?
Y'all niggas gonna share this shit.
4 of y'all. No, because you gotta pay.
Nah, yeah.
400?
I would say
400. That's much.
I say about 500 though.
About 500.
I would say about 100 each. I would say like 400.
About 100 each.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say 400, right?
Yeah.
So even basing it off of $400, right? That's already a higher value than the $290 that I based it off of.
Yeah.
But now listen to this. Is that $400 even? You could drink past that $400.
Definitely.
You gonna go?
Mike's got A for a
So how much more value will that necessarily be? So now, mind you, right? And this is I get this a lot. Like why the female apes is valued at this and the male apes is valued at that.
Now, so sexist.
So listen. A male or a female could own, a nigga or a girl could own either or. It doesn't matter what ape you own. Yeah. If you got that ape, you got that perk.
You entitled to that.
The thing about the female apes, they have no cap, right? The male apes, meaning at the bar, what you can get, what you could drink, how far your night could go.
But your males do.
Your males got a cap. You know why?
Because males drink way more than females. Oh, okay.
No, see, that was sexist.
My bad.
No. So, but with the male apes, the value is, $554 because a bottle costs $450 plus tax and gratuity. It gets to that $550. But you got one bottle.
Right.
Now y'all splitting that one bottle,
between lightweight pushing the female apes to the back door.
You know what I mean?
That would be the move.
You got now people want exclusivity. So that's what you're paying for too. Yeah, so exclusivity over here, you only got this one bottle, but now you over here at this bar, and you fluent within the whole thing, and you get it how you want to. You know what I mean?
I'm drunk on this.
As you know, motherfuckers be over at the bar getting they drinking shit like that, and then they end up in your section, drinking your bottle. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He pulled up pop from
so it's the pluses and it's the minuses, of it, and when I explain this to people for people to understand, to a degree. And it's like, the utility, man. And I can't bang home enough the utility.
I mean, that's a real breakdown right
income.
there.
Yeah,
why you are not going to make passive income without investing in something.
Yeah.
Right. Gotta
You don't get passive income for nothing. This shit don't come free.
Yeah.
People so hard on motherfucker rather go
why is this all like that?
How much money would you to say that you have the potential to go out 2 times a month? Now you got shit planned. Right?
Yeah.
You got shit planned.
Yeah.
Same way that you gonna go to work and on a certain time. Same way that you gonna make sure you secure your nightlife and your fun. You gonna be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You gonna make sure you get on there. I know exactly when I'm going out. Right? But you know what? I don't want to go out that night. Right? I'm going to go ahead and sell it. I'm going to make my passive income. I'm going to keep on doing what I do in my day. But listen,
you can technically own it.
You mean it's a staycation too.
You step in. But listen to this though, right? So what about, when you make that booking, you don't know who coming to the club that night.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if Drake shows up, how much you going to sell that table for?
Wow.
Man. Hey, look, you know what? We got the budget to do it too. We got the budget to do it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hey, y'all heard it here on the Happy Hour show.
Russell performing.
You got the budget to do it.
Yeah, my man's been doing it. It's crazy. I just like to see you watch. We went from upbringing in San Francisco, from not being able to go here, not being able to go there. Early United players, early Rudy, young Maul. to fucking you going to be in your first round of the beginning really stages, if you even want to call it, of celebrity endorsing that
I Love New York,
that crazy raw technique of filming of what we call today is reality TV.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You really be on the front, being one of the first characters to really stand
a lot
out.
Of shit.
You know what I mean, and come full circle, go through your trials and tribulations with the law, come out of that. Come into some movie, come into acting, now being a director, you know what I'm saying? Producer, you going through all these stages, and just being here throughout the show, watching you, you know, go through all these hats and ending with this masterpiece of the Bay Apes. You know, it's just been such a crazy thing to wonder. When we took a pause and break, I asked you about certain memories that, you know, through all this conversation. Like, is there anything that you want to put out there in closing? To a young 10 milli, to a young Maul, or a young person that's want to be an entrepreneur, to say that, look, I built something, you know, as extraordinary as not only my portfolio, but something groundbreaking as this. Is there like something that you could tell out to people? Because I thought you would be a perfect addition to the show because of all this.
Absolutely.
But before we end, this was something that just came up. I mean, with you, it's been a while, but that I've known about. We was on a live, and I seen your story before I woke up, and you said you woke up and you wanted to be a fucking stand-up comedian. I think that is funny. I mean, we got some funniest in here, but I think you are fucking naturally hilarious. Like, you know, there's funny people out there, but I think when you're just naturally funny being you, like you are in yourself, I think it's just naturally. So what did you come up with this weird idea of all this shit that you got going on that you want to take stand up really serious? Because I see it the last 48 hours, you've been like, I'm on this shit.
Yeah. You know, I always wanted to get into like stand up, right? Because I love stand up comedies, man. You know, Martin did it for me, you know, back in the day. You know, Jamie Foxx did it for me, and before them, you know, it was Eddie Murphy. You know, before there was Rick Fox. You know, it was all these influential people, right? And I love laughing, right? Yeah. So once I learned, like, because at first I thought these niggas were just freestyling up on stage, right? Yeah. But then when I learned that it was written, right, to a degree, right? And then you play off of those writtens and those punchlines, right? And I'm a writer at heart, you know? And I believe I hold a great cadence, by the way. You see what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, I know how to structure a punchline. I know how to tell a story and all of these things. And just like how you say you funny, I remember, being, I went to my guy Louis Bell. Shout out my nigga Louis Bell. Sonny Bo. I went to one of his stand-ups, and we was in the back, man, and I was cracking everybody up, right? And how I was delivering. And he was like, bro, you need to be a comedian. Like, you funny. Right? But that was me being me and knowing how to transition, one punchline or one story and then contort my body, and matter of factly, right? And somebody who do it the best is David Chappelle. That's my favorite stand-up comedian.
No one comes harder than these days. Yeah. He's transcended it now to where I'ma just laugh because, like you say, some of the cadence, and it's just like, somebody else you wouldn't laugh as hard, but his delivery. His delivery.
Maybe on them dancing this motherfucker.
Shut up. We gotta bring that back. Yeah. That was the ultimate.
But yeah, so about 2 years ago, I was supposed to, make my stand-up debut with Louis Bell in Oakland, and I ended up having to go to a child custody hearing for my son out in Monterey. So I canceled it. I mean, I was a little nervous to even take it on because it's like, it's one thing to be in front of, people that to be like this, and it's another thing to be in front of strangers, but not just the strangers, because I could get like this freestyle in front of strangers, but to structure in front of strangers, I know how it ain't that easy to remember your lines in acting. It's and know the cadence and how you have to, your expressions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Your mannerisms, all that shit count. But I always, I follow my dreams. I always have these dreams of me doing stand-up comedy. and the other day I came out of a dream laughing like a motherfucker at myself, right? Randomly. What the fuck am I thinking about? And it was 6:30 in the morning, and I always tell myself, man, you know what? I'm gonna write that shit down later, right?
Yeah.
And then you forget about it.
You forget about it.
So
yeah.
I'm like,
Dreams
you know,
are
some
hard
of
to
my
remember.
dopest ideas come to me in my dreams. And
It's the
I
hardest
lack
shit to remember.
the time to say, you know what? Get up, write it down now.
Yeah.
Go
While it's
at
fresh.
it later.
Yeah.
So the other day when, you know, this, you know, when it came up, I said, you know what? It's my time. You know, it's my time to at least try it out and get on that stage, right?
Yeah.
And in front of people, you know, small spot, you know, Ludu out in Oakland, or whatnot, and you know, in front of random people. I don't care to like have all my friends there, you know what I mean? Because I'm not funny to them. When it comes down to me doing like a stand-up routine, I don't think that, you know, I'm gonna be funny to them, or it might make me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Now, being in front of people who don't know my everyday, right? They could get it because they're not used to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it'll be different, you know? So I said, I want my people to come.
Do you find vulnerability in there though?
Yes.
Because,
man,
you know, like you say, it's something that you're going to start off for the first time. And what if you know, like you said, shit, when they say,
they throw tomatoes at you like Fuzzy Bear.
I'm going to tell you like this. I'm not going to bomb.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let myself bomb.
There you go.
You got to think about that. What my manifestation is, I'm going to succeed in everything that I do.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I'm going to know how to pivot, how I need to necessarily pivot. Shit, you know, like, we had love. Right, you know what I mean? We wanted them to do our grand opening, all that shit. Look how I pivoted.
Yeah.
Shut it down then, bye. I'm about to build a new one.
Hey.
Facts.
I spent $350,000 in that club.
Damn.
It wasn't even able to do a grand opening.
Damn.
But you know what? With the NFT, with the Bay Apes, I make it all back plus some, and then I could do it all over again with a bigger budget.
Hallelujah.
So when we gonna see you on tour with Mike Epps is the question.
Oh, so
hey, because be honest with you though, you seeing people trigger out. They going out there. You got TIs out there. You got some other people.
You got Fab fucking around.
You got Fab fucking around.
So the thing about it, right? Look, listen. When I do my stand up out in Oakland, I'm gonna kill it.
You gotta let us know what it is.
I'm gonna kill it.
You gotta
and
be
when
in the
I
building.
kill it, all my comedian friends is gonna see it. They're gonna be like, bruh,
Let's go.
come on. You gotta do improv. They gonna say, nigga, do that at improv. So now that's a script. That's a script, right? That's a script. And I only did it in front of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that over here. What do you think Dave Chappelle do? He go here, tell the story. Oh, here, he telling the same exact story.
Yeah.
Because they wasn't there. It's a new crowd.
Exactly.
A real comedian fan knows, because I love comedy. That's why I honestly think you'd be great for it, because you have, I mean, a shit of material of yourself. Not even current topics that you can blend in and stuff. Because you see comics today.
I'm not even standing on current topics neither.
Dave Chappelle doesn't even really tell jokes anymore. You know what I mean?
He tells stories.
He tells
stories.
It's an art form. His cadence, no one ever has it. No one has it. I honestly think that where he's at now, I think he's transcended Eddie, because Eddie just didn't have that much of a long body period, but he's almost on his Richard shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That shit is phenomenal. If you go watch his last 3 pieces,
I've never had stovetop stuffing.
Oh my God. When he had said that, you know, man, I'm funny for no reason sometimes. He said, man, I'll think of a punchline, write it down. And then he said on that, I think his third Netflix series, he was like, I wrote this down, right? And, you know, I'm going to bring it back up later. And you ain't never gonna see it coming. He said,
I kicked her in the pussy.
So I kicked her in the pussy. Right?
And then just went on,
started
touching
all right, cool, whatever. Now I'm gonna figure it out when it's gonna come. Right, I'm over there. I'm distracted from all this other funny shit, and then next thing you know, he said, "So I kicked her in the pussy." I was dying, but you know what I did with that, man? I took my notes.
Yeah,
I took my notes, man. I studied the David Chappelle's. I studied the Mike Epps, the Cat Williams, the Kevin Harts, the Lewis Belts. Now I mean, I study. You know, I'm a student at heart of everything. Definitely. I know how to regurgitate real well. You know, I'm not a super book smart type of guy, right? Now, but I could dive into a book, and once I read that book, I could tell you that book from the front to the back if I wanted to. Yeah. But it ain't never gonna be. It ain't never gonna come out the exact same way if somebody tell you some game.
Oh yeah.
GAME.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You know? So yeah, stand up, man. That's something that I'm about to entertain. And I know I'm going to kill it. I already wrote my whole website. I'm practicing it right now. I probably got about 2 little more segments. It's going to be 5 to 10 minutes. Not long. I really want to write it a little longer because ain't
work that material. That's
nobody going to tell me to get off the stage because it's going to be funny.
Fire.
It's going to be funny. And like cadence, memorizing, getting there, and then the in-between to ultimately get to that next one. Man, the first one, it starts off with me. It starts off with True Love. Imagine that nigga. Imagine that nigga, right? That nigga, know what I mean, in the projects with the last name True Love, right? Know what I mean? You know, everybody think he can take that nigga. You know what I mean? You know, like I can take him. Like, hold on, who you think you're like light skinned, tall nigga? You know, shit like that. You know what I mean? Until they find out. You know what I mean? You know, and you know, I'm not gonna give it up, but I'm telling you, the cadence of it all, the stories I can tell between me and my family, the stories I could tell, like, and then this is another funny thing, and this would be for my big Netflix stand up, right? Right.
For Wishing right here, Manifest Destiny.
It's like this, nigga. You had life in prison. Sued the police, won these millions of dollars, you're a millionaire. What the fuck makes you want to get into stand-up comedy?
That's a good punchline.
You know what I mean? What the fuck makes you want to get into stand-up comedy? Because to the common person, they go live your life.
Yeah. You done won already.
Because you know you can.
You know, laugh at my pain, man. I love when Kevin Hart did that. Laugh at my pain, man.
I think the perfect way, perfect cadence, perfect quote, in quotations, not too long, tattoo you got on your chest. I think that should be your first. Life after life.
I manifested it when I was in prison, but didn't understand what manifestation was until I went to state for psychology, till I made that decision, right? But Life After Life is my documentary. Life After Life is my my album. I have that whole album already done. I just haven't put it out. You know why? Because that deserves a big budget behind it because people need to hear it. It doesn't deserve me to just drop it and hope that people listen to it. It's too much pain, it's too much truth in there, right? And the cadence is just so good. Like I know how to sing. I'm not the best singer, but I know how to sing. I'm like that Dream Meets Life Jennings.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Them niggas didn't have no big old suit. They had that raspy. Right? And they had the cadence, they had that flow and shit like that. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Now, I mean, I know how to identify with that. I wrote 100 songs when I was in jail, man, and lost the book when I came home.
Damn.
But God said I had to lose that book to disattach myself from saying that I'm just gonna be this artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Story wouldn't have been so thick without it.
Right.
Man, bro. Like I said, I could keep going. These stories, bro, you know, I wrote this song called I'm Not a Criminal, right? It's the deepest song ever. And I wrote it inside of the holding tank while the jury was on the other end deciding my fate.
Wow.
And I wrote it to the jury.
Wow, that's powerful.
And it's like I recorded it. It's ready to, you know. But I'm like, man, the visuals have to be.
Oh, they have to be hard.
You know what I mean?
We have to get Strive Construct Media on
You know
what I mean? Number 8 in the books. We want to thank my boy Jamal Millie True Love for coming through and blessing the happy hour show. We had our toast of Reese and Ritas. You know what I'm saying? We want to thank you. We know the schedule is busy. Thank you for blessing us. Gave us so many gems. Any last words you want to give out to the happy hours out there and to the crew or anybody out there, man, in the world?
Yeah, man. You know, One thing that again, my mentor Rudy Corpez, he always said, those who control the mind of the youth control the future. If you want your future to be positive, man, make sure that you lead with positivity, man, so our future can be brighter.
Solid. Respect. And we can't leave without wishing Draddy a big happy birthday. So
happy birthday,
He's an Aries, Shout out to my son Reese. We just had a good party, you know what I'm saying? The family. I want to thank everybody for coming through.
Reese.
Happy
Pisces gang.
You know what I mean? Everybody forgot it was overtime birthday too.
It's overtime.
Looking forward to it. We're on 8, but please watch numbers 1 through 7. We had some really good gems. We got La Russell. We got all our sports stuff up there. We got a good one with my guy Tucky Blunt. Blunt some more. If you got some fire, go get the Simply Green. Shot them out.
Don't forget about Ransky. Stay
Maul's
fresh.
been a good host at the club and just in business with a lot of these brothers too. Especially dropped some bombs with the Conformity of Brotherhood with Stunner and Gunner from the last Black Man of San Francisco. Make sure to keep watching and subscribing, man. Until next time.
Yeah.
Right.
I ain't even trying to flex, but nigga, I ain't done yet. I made investments in a fortnight and made about 10x. While niggas talking that ride, sending packs, hoping they land. I'm growing M's in my sleep. M&M's. Jeez, Sabe. Yeah, these niggas want me next, but I'm right now living currently on that blockchain cause I'm in my MetaMask looking aped up cause the Bay Apes going in. So the floor price going up about 10 ETH in a year. Woo! Sabe. Yeah, let me talk my shit. Nigga, 10 milli turned 20 milli off the government when I hit. And I'm still winning like Stunner Man 02 up in this bitch. But I'm international 10 now, might suck Bay on your bitch. Woo. Hold on. I've been away for a while now. I'm in London still, fucking on bitches y'all niggas be down to kill. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on. I've been away for a while now. I'm in London still, fucking on bitches y'all niggas be down to kill. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe. Hold on, Sabe.